Know that Luka is a baller. First team All-NBA in the second season after being the Rookie of the Year. Why has he adapted so quickly to playoff basketball in the NBA?
Well, you know I love it being a homer that I am coming out of Dallas. But, Luka just plays with a calmness about himself. And I think it's because his early years playing professionally overseas. He had to grow up. He had to mature a lot faster. The pace of the game, his ability to read situations, especially in the pick and roll, the ability to find guys. I mean, he's just deadly. And then now he is shooting the three ball at a much more efficient rate than he was earlier on in his career. And that's just made him that much more dangerous of a player. He rebounds the basketball. He throws the hockey assists a lot of the times. And then he's fearless. He's not scared to take and make big shots. So I think the biggest thing for Luka is he got help. Like Tim Hardaway Jr., if he comes in and gives you 20-plus points and Kristaps Porzingis struggles the way he did in Game 1, they're going to be a tough out. And they've been a thorn in the Clippers' side now for 2 years in a row.
Yeah, Finney Smith's playing really well for him, and with Luka, and I will talk about the Clippers in a second, but, if they're going to switch everything, the Clippers, he's going to call Zubac up there, and Zubac is going to go up there, and he's going to go like, damn, now I'm guarding Luka Doncic. He's saying, but let me guard their big guys. I think what's got to happen is that the Clippers have got to put Kawhi Leonard on him or George and just say, you know what? Stay on him. I'm going to fight over screens, which is like now there's the default switch. Everybody switches. Just get up into him and say, I'm going to fight over the screen. The big, I need a little bit of help, but I'm not getting off of him. I'm staying on him. And I think those two guys have great ability to defend individually, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, but they've got to do it. It doesn't do any good if you're a great defender and you're guarding, I don't know who, someone in the corner, Finney Smith standing over there watching him. And I felt bad for the big fella from Clipperland.
Zubac.
Zubac. He was just on an island. And he was like going sideways. And the funny thing is he had that look on his face like, damn, am I really got to guard this guy all this time? And I just think that's unfair for him. So I think the Clippers need to change up. And I think Ty has to tell his best defenders, look Ro, it's not that hard in the NBA. You got really good defenders and you got some defenders who aren't that good. You keep your really good defenders on the other team's top players. That's not that hard to do. And they've got to just take the challenge of doing it. And I think if they do that, they can slow him down. But if he has another performance like he had in Game 1 and Game 2, it's going to be hard to beat the Dallas Mavericks.
Hard to beat them so far. The Mavericks are 3-1 this season against the Clippers. All those games decided by 10 or more. They do not fear them. Check them out, ESPN. And then TNT is where it will be on Sunday, the American Airlines Center. With that being said, we got fans from both sides of the spectrum. Shouts out to Kim, Bradley, Andy, and Peyton. They have questions. So we're going to start first with Kim Brown, who is in Frisco, Texas right now. And her question is for Jet Terry.
Hey, Jason. So we just got word that they're going to have the American Airlines Center at full capacity for Friday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of impact do you think that's going to have on the outcome of the game?
I tell you what, that runway is going to be packed in the AAC, and it's going to be a big factor for the home team Mavericks. And hopefully we'll shoot the ball extremely well. I said we, because I'm still a Mav fan for life. So hopefully they'll shoot the ball well and play. But the fans will be rowdy, loud, and proud.
Look at that, man. Hey, he speaks French. That's Jet Terry. Coach, coming back to you. Hey, we got Payman Benz, who is repping for those Clippers. What's your question for Coach?
My question is, besides Kawhi and PG, who needs to step up tonight for the Clippers?
No. I think everybody's going to have to play just better. They just didn't have as much fire. Morris can make shots. He can guard different people. I just think that they've got to get into their defensive groove as a team, though, because when they're they got a lot of good individual defenders, and when they're defending and getting steals, they need to get out in the break and run a little bit, get some easy baskets. I think their entire team has just got to play with more passion and defensively wise, they have got to get stops, got to get up into people, make people uncomfortable, because when the Clippers are just walking the ball up and down the floor, it seems to me like they end up taking too many tough shots. When they're pushing the ball early off of turnovers and good defense and long rebounds, their whole offense flows, and they got such a nice flow team that I look at it, but it's got to start with the defensive end with the Clippers. They've got to be more aggressive, and they got to disrupt the Mavericks more.
We keep things aggressive right here, and these fans are aggressive with their questions. Coming up next, this one's going to Jet Terry. Bradley Marshall, Mavs fan for life. You have the floor.
Hey, what's up, Jet? First of all, thanks for 2011. So I want to talk about confidence with Luka being so young and the ultimate flex, which was your tattoo, the Larry O'Brien trophy tattoo before the season started. For Luka being so young, like how is it that veterans, he just gets treated different than anybody? Can you speak to what that confidence does for the rest of the team? And also, when are we going to get 31 up in the rafters, man? Let's get Mark Cuban on that.
There you go. Yep.
Hey, I appreciate the love. Sometimes you have to speak it into existence.
I'll email him immediately.
You know what? Luka's confidence is tremendous, and the team feeds off of it. He's starting to get calls now like he is a superstar in this league. As you know, some of the stars do get, certain calls through periodically throughout a game, especially now in the playoffs when it really matters. And now he's going up against two great stars in their own right. I mean, Kawhi and Paul George have done it, for a long time now. But, for Luka, it all starts with his mindset, his mentality. When he comes out and he's aggressive, looking to score, now the defense has to adjust. They have to guard him. They almost have to send two guys at him because one is just not going to get the job done. And so now his teammates are open. And if they make shots, it just makes him that much more dangerous.
Dangerous indeed he is. Someone else who's dangerous is the final participant right here. Andy, you have a question for Coach. Talk to me.
Coach, an honor to talk to you. Here's my question. Let's say you're Ty Lue tonight. Who do you want to be on Doncic? Which Clipper is going to be the one who should be carrying the defensive load? Because it felt like last game it wasn't Kawhi, it wasn't Paul George. And I got to wonder, to me, they're the two best defenders on the team. So if you're Ty Lue, what is the defensive strategy against Doncic tonight?
I walk in the locker room and say, which one of you two want him? Which one of you two want him? One of you two got him. Who wants him first? And I'm waiting for them. And they don't say anything. I'm going to wait there for an hour. Figure I sit there. One of them going to have to answer, I got him. And you put it on them. I think that's the easiest way to coach. I love that as a player. I love when the coach came in and said, I got him, coach. I said, hey, I just got to go in the fourth quarter with 3 fouls or less. And then nobody double teams and I got him. And, hey, we'll win or lose the game on me fighting that guy. And that you have to have that mentality. And one of those two guys has got to step up. And I'll tell you what, Jet, you've been in a million locker rooms. And, I did this in Houston with those guys. You challenge people like that, and they come out. I mean, you got to say which one of you two want this cat. Yep. And then when he raises his hand, say, okay, baby, you got him. And you know what? Hey, we're all going to help you, but it's you. Yep. And then, you know what? Whoever's next to raise your hand, say, and if that fails, you're next up. And so, and you put it on them. And I tell you what, players love that. Players love to be challenged. And and those two guys can flat out play defense and are both tough, long, and everything. So you walk in and say, all right, which one wants them first, fellas?
Right.
There it is. I love that. So before we let everyone go, this question is specifically for Clippers fans. So Andy Payman, tell me how much you love these Lakers.
No. Go ahead and say it, Andy. You can curse. You can curse.
Wait, hold on. Don't listen to Coach.
I'll tell you this much. I thought the Clippers looked a lot better than the Lakers in Game 1.
Amen, brother.
You both lost, though. You both lost.
I just love it when Celtics and Clippers fans can unite.
Yeah, very seldom does it happen, but against Lakers we do.
Gotta love it. Hey, it's fan night right here. We have the fans participating for the playoffs. Shouts out to
Lakers, no. Yeah.
Best players.
Yeah. You think at some point he's like.
Earlier today, the NBA conducted 6 tiebreakers among teams that finished the season with identical regular season records. The ties were broken to determine the order of selection in the 2021 NBA draft presented by State Farm. For non-playoff teams that do not win one of the top 4 picks in the NBA draft lottery, and for playoff teams. First, starting with ties among teams that made the playoffs. The Clippers won a tiebreaker with the Nuggets for the 25th pick. After the 3-way tiebreaker between the Mavs, Lakers, and Blazers, the Mavs secured the 21st pick. The Lakers secured the 22nd pick, and the Blazers will pick 23rd. Note that the Mavs' first-round pick has been traded to the Knicks, and the Blazers' first-round pick has been traded to the Rockets. The Knicks won a tiebreaker with the Hawks for the 19th pick, moving on to teams that did not make the playoffs. Pay attention. The Hornets, they won a tiebreaker with the Spurs for the 11th position in the draft lottery. After the three-way tiebreaker between the Bulls, Pelicans, and Kings, The Bulls secured the 8th position in the draft lottery. The Kings secured the 9th position, and the Pelicans will be in the 10th position. And for the final tie, the Thunder won a tiebreaker with the Cavs for the 4th position in the draft lottery. That's a lot right there. I hope that you took notes.
Hey, Ro, I missed a couple of that. Would you run that by me?
I got you.
Okay.
Next commercial break, I got you covered. You can watch the 2021 NBA Draft Lottery on ESPN Tuesday, June 22nd, starting at 8:30 p.m. The results of the lottery determine the order of the 2021 NBA Draft presented by State Farm. That is on Thursday, July 29th on ESPN. I've just talked a whole bunch. I know you're tired of hearing me, but that's okay because I'm going to toss it out to 3D Dennis Scott, who is in LA covering the Clippers and the Mavs.
What's up, basketball fans? Let's talk about game 2, Clippers versus the Mavericks. We saw in game 1, Luka Doncic was the best player on the floor. After talking to Ty Lue, looked to Paul George to guard Luka early in the game. Secondly, the switches. You must switch with purpose. Zubac was left on the island all game long, and Luka either got an easy shot or on the weak side of the floor, Tim Hardaway Jr. and Finney Smith got wide open threes.
Luka does a lot of things well. He's great at attacking the paint and moving his teammates, and you got to pick your poison with him. Those step back threes here with a late contest, that's one of the shots, we're going to live with.
He has a lot of gravitational pull towards him. He brings a lot of attention to wherever he is on the court, on or off the ball. Playing with him is just a lot more space, obviously driving towards his way because people don't want him to catch or make plays. But yeah, he has a lot of game to him. So anything that happens, it's going to open up a lot of things for himself and for others.
Why doesn't Kawhi get the defensive assignment against Luka more often?
Because he has to carry a lot of load, offensively. We have 3 or 4 guys that we can put on and mix it up. But I think you get what you're asking for come Tuesday.
Awesome report right there by 3D. You can catch him tonight at Staples Center along with Joel Myers and Brendan Haywood, who I affectionately call the Big Petty. He's on the call. Can't wait to hear what he has to say, making his playoff debut on TNT calling the game. Coach, we've talked about this behind the scenes, and 3D mentioned it as well. The defensive assignments for the LA Clippers, who have the 3 best perimeter defenders, according to what a lot of people say when you talk about Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Patrick Beverley. However, they have not had any success slowing down Luka. That's one conversation, but they've had problems stopping the other guards as well. What do the Clippers need to do defensively?
I think change it up some. Like I said, first of all, it starts off with Luka. Let's get our assignment there, and let's say it's Kawhi Leonard. Okay, baby, you got him. Get after him, and then you know that you're going to come after. You can put Patrick Beverley on him just to hound him up the court when he dribbles the ball up. But then Luka's smart enough to go in the post and shoot over him. So you can only do that so long. But really what happens is that all that breakdown, Finney Smith's open. They got guys just getting open shots. And so they've got to be able to contain the ball better on everybody, not just Luka, but the entire team, contain the ball better. And that just comes down to individual defense. You got to stay in front of your man. And I thought the Mavericks did a great job, starting with Luka and a lot of other players, of just getting in the paint and then fanning the ball out for open shots.
Talk about Brunson, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Finney Smith. They combined for 54 points, definitely representing a lot of them setting career playoff highs. Now we go to Porzingis. They call him the unicorn for a reason. We know that he has a skill set that is unlike any player in the NBA. 7'4", can defend the rim, can shoot the 3, can do a little bit of everything. However, we know that he didn't have his best performance in game 1. What needs to change with the unicorn, Jet?
Well, I think with him, just continue to be aggressive, look for your shots. He gets a lot of his shots just playing off of Luka. So that 2-man basketball, old school John Stockton, Karl Malone, pick and pop, pick and roll, get in the pocket. He's not really a post-up guy. But if he has the matchup, he can go inside and make shots. But that's where he's at his best right there. Trail 3-pointers out in transition. And then, sometimes mix it up. Don't always pop. Roll to the basket. Use your athleticism, which he has, and throw that thing down. So, I just look for him to just be a little more aggressive. He should take about 20, 22 shots tonight. And then also be an impact on the defensive end. He's a good rim protector when they put him in that position. So, I think he'll play a little bit better. He's not played a lot here towards the end of the season, so he has to get his timing, get his rhythm back for the game.
We saw his rhythm last season. He was a problem against those Clippers, averaging 20 and 10. Coach, offensively for the Clippers, we know that they shot the three ball extremely well this season. They were flirting with one of the best seasons in history as far as shooting that three. Game 1, 28%. That's not that good. So offensively, shooting the three, or what else needs to change for these Clippers in order for them to have success?
Like I said earlier, I think their defense has got to pick up. They got to get out and run. I like when they're running. I like when they're getting stops. They got guys that have great hands and steals guys can get in passing lanes. If they get some easy baskets like that, they can get going. You know, Reggie Jackson's going to have to make some shots. Batum makes, they get out there. They're going to swing the ball. I'm a big Marcus Morris fan. I like him. I think he defends. He can knock some people around a little bit. But they're complementary players always play better when your top players are playing well. Look, they call them role players for a reason because they're playing off of other players. I always said, they'd say, well, that guy can't play. I said, no, he's not playing with the right stars. The right stars are going to make him better. You put Kawhi Leonard going downhill like he likes to do sometimes. When he starts playing bully ball, it's over. Get Paul George running and getting out there. That's going to collapse the defense. And then they fan it out. Now everybody's got that extra second or two to shoot the ball because they collapse the defense. I didn't see a lot of that. And again, easy baskets. When you're shooting poorly, you got to get some easy baskets. And that starts off defensive and rebounding and getting out and running for them.
He's out on the floor.
Coach, you obviously spent time with James Harden as well, as we just mentioned, and Jet made some excellent points there. What needs to happen for James Harden? Because his playoff failures are very well documented. What needs to change this postseason for him to experience success?
Well, I think just using all of his skill level. I just think he's such a great passer. I thought in the past, at times, when teams started loading up on him, he'd end up taking some bad shots or just start forcing some things. He now is just moving the ball. He's so comfortable. That guy's first day of practice, he came from Oklahoma City to Houston. He threw some passes. I went like, damn. Like, he's throwing stuff around the gym. I'm like, how the hell did he see that? I mean, his vision is phenomenal. His basketball IQ is really, really high. I just think there were times where James just got so locked in. I got to score. I got to do this. And Jet knows we were there, and there were many times that moved the ball. We gave him the ball a lot for a reason because he's such a good passer. I think he's more comfortable, and I think he's bought in totally that I've got to win a championship. Like, this is my chance to win a championship. He had opportunities in Houston. We got the conference finals. Yep. We got the conference finals, I think, another time there. But he's with KD, and he's such a great player. And late in games, he can give the ball to KD. He can do his thing. He can catch and shoot. I just think there's a lot less pressure on James, and I just think he's playing so well in his role.
Indeed, he is. They can't seem to win without him. Well, I say that loosely. We know the Brooklyn Nets, they have all the talent offensively, the most offensively potent team in the history of the NBA. Speaking of somebody who's offensively potent, he is in BK right now, and he has a mean pair of 13s on. Jared Greenberg joins us from Brooklyn, the 718. Hey, Jared, everything that's going on with the season Nets, set us straight.
Well, listen, Ro, it's great to hear from you, and it's great to be back on some wood here in Brooklyn covering this game tonight. As much as the focus has been on KD, Kyrie, and Harden learning how to play with one another, we also can't forget that Steve Nash is navigating his first season as an NBA head coach. And while he's got a ton of experience playing with some all-time greats like Dirk, like Grant Hill, like Amari Stoudemire, and like Kobe, he told me the other day that learning how to communicate and build a relationship with this generation of future Hall of Famers is way different than when he was a point guard and a floor general.
It's way different. There's a big line between being in the locker room every day and being in the coach's office or coach's locker room. That is so different. And sure, there's elements of it are the same. Maybe I can understand and communicate in a way that shows my years leading teams in this league, but it's so different when you're in the locker room. You're a part of that team. When you're a coach, you're just trying to help facilitate the team's best performances.
In Brooklyn's Game 1 victory, the Brooklyn's big three combined to score 82 points. And it's interesting that despite those 82 points, when I spoke to Steve Nash a few minutes before tonight's game, he told me that it's still a work in progress. It would be unfair, he said, to grade where the big three of KD, Kyrie, and Harden are at this point. But as you would expect, he said he is very positive about the direction that they're headed.
Work in progress. Now, we know that allowing fans into the building, that's a work in progress, but it's been a successful one when you look at MSG and also the Barclays Center. What type of impact are the fans going to have tonight in this game here?
Row, huge. I was in the building Saturday night for Game 1, and for the first time since March 10th, 2020, I got the chills at an NBA game. The bubble was an outstanding experience for all involved, and it was run incredibly smooth. But there's nothing like being in a building filled with energetic fans. Steve Nash said, in fact, he felt like it was being on a Hollywood movie set on Saturday night, and that may have affected the Nets and the Celtics. Both got off to a slow start offensively the other night, and it's interesting when you think about that the Nets defense was a little ahead of their offense on Saturday night. It may have a lot to do with the fans. Again, they're expecting just over 14,000 fans, and the important part about that is that 93% of those fans are vaccinated fans.
Vaccination, that seems to be the answer in NYC. They can pack them in a lot tighter. Jared Greenberg, the best hair in the game, and also he's awesome when it comes to sharing information. Enjoy the game and look forward to talking to you soon, JG.
All right, thanks, fellas. Have a great show.
Indeed, we will, just because he asked us to do so. Moving forward to the Lakers and the Suns out in the Western Conference. We saw that Game 1 had a lot of different things happening. Chris Paul goes down with the injury, comes back in the game. But LeBron James and AD didn't necessarily come and play at that level that we're used to seeing them playing, only combining for 31 points, something that we haven't seen from two guys that average over 20 a game consistently over the postseason. Looking at this Game 1, what needs to change specifically for these two individuals in order for them to even out this series?
Well, I think AD is definitely going to have to be a lot more aggressive in the painted area. If you look at bear down brother DeAndre Ayton, he really dominated on both ends of the floor. He killed him on the offensive glass. And so Anthony Davis is going to have to take that matchup personally, not settle for outside jump shots, and really make his presence felt in the paint. Now, LeBron, he's an elder statesman. He understands it's a series. Some young man once told him, you ain't going to be able to keep up for 7 games, and that's what he's banking on. He's not going to expend too much energy early in a series when he knows this thing can go 5, 6, 7 games. So I'm looking for Anthony Davis to assert himself and be much more of a physical presence in the paint.
Yeah, I heard somebody say earlier he was allergic to the paint. Hopefully that'll change if the Lakers want to change their fortunes. Coach, looking at LeBron James, 5 turnovers in that first game. What does LeBron need to do? Does he need to be the facilitator, LeBron, or does he need to be more aggressive scoring? Which direction does he need to go?
I just think he's got to beat people off the dribble. He's such a great instinctive player. Get downhill and just make the next play. He always makes the next play. I don't think I would say very seldom does he just look to score. He just looks to play. And if he's aggressive, the team will be aggressive. If he's pushing the ball, they're going to run with him. He finds people. He'd be a fun guy to play with because all you got to do is get open. And as a big guy, you just find this crease and he's going to find you. He's so clever. But I don't think he has to change. I'm with Jet. AD is the guy that's got to do something differently. And I think the coaching staff's going to have to play AD at center a lot more. I just think, I know they got some beef and they brought some people in there to beef up and be big. AD needs to play the 5. And he needs to attack the paint. He needs to get in there. I saw Green in the play-in game. Draymond Green bullied him off of 3 or 4 moves. I mean, where he ended up taking a one-legger, like step back shoot. When you're rolling and you're a big guy that can play, which he can, if Green cuts me off, I'm spinning off him. My attack is constantly at the rim. He got bellied out from the rim. He's got to get in the paint and score. LeBron's going to do his thing. He's just going to get up and on the floor. The thing that scares me about LeBron a little bit is he didn't finish some shots he normally finishes. Now look at Father Time's going to catch up at some time, and I'm not sure when. I'm not saying it is tonight, but he's just not finishing around the rim like he did. Like he used to be able to get in there, body hunt you, knock everybody off the way, and lay it in. He's missing simple shots and stuff like that. So I'm not sure. That's that high ankle sprain at LeBron's age. It's going to be interesting. The Lakers did not look anything like the defending champs in the play-in games. If Golden State hadn't thrown it to them steady in the third quarter, they would have lost that playoff game, that play-in game. So it's